Oh, my, it's Fox, man. So, I'm with Fox. I didn't just finish. I watched it earlier today. Moon Knight. Episode 1. First off, love the hell out of it. Like, again, Moon Knight, I'll say right now, Moon Knight is a character, again, like, out of the Marvel vault of characters, like, all the lineups of characters that I wouldn't know other than maybe, like, a few jokes. Like, there's some joke memes out there, like, random bullshit go, and that's actually just a meme. That's not an actual comic thing, which kind of sucks. It's really funny. Moon Knight is a character I wouldn't really have known about, or probably even really cared too much about, if not for one, the memes, and two, now the MCU, which honestly I'm going to say right now, he's probably one of my favorites right now. And he barely appeared in this episode. Well, he kind of did, like, his alternate personalities did, but I like this. I like this episode. I like this show a lot, and I like the character. I honestly think this might be so far, this might be my favorite Marvel, like, MCU show. And, because, other than Loki, because I like Loki a lot. Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of just felt like, at least to me, like, meh. Like, I'm just kind of watching, like, okay. WandaVision, it's pretty good. Add a little bit more and stuff like that. I like that one too. But then you have a show like Loki going, the multiverse. Kang the Conqueror is like the new big bad that's coming. And like all this shit. Bring back the dead, showing up the multiverse coming, like, setting the multiverse free and all this stuff. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, like the Loki one's like the other one's like, oh, here's a little story here, here's a little story here. Here's the entire future of the MCU. And it's just like, holy shit. And like, I don't know, Loki I liked more. And like, I'm happy that they're gonna make season 2 of that. This one, and even I did see Hawkeye too. I recently saw Hawkeye, which, again, to me, that's kind of similar to Winter Soldier. I say Winter Soldier and Hawkeye. Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye, to me at least, are like, out of all the Marvel shows, are probably like the lesser ones. That I'm just kind of like, like, okay, cool. We get a little bit more with like Ronin and like stuff that happened between that time, and we did get Kingpin. That was cool. I was happy about Kingpin. WandaVision I would put above those two shows. Like, that one had like a lot of style, and I liked like the whole thing with her, and like her story, at least it felt like it progressed the main plot of the MCU furthermore, with like the Darkhold, and eventually it's going to lead into a multiverse of madness. So it pushed the story a little bit. Loki, I was just like here you go, here's the story. We're adding deviants, we're adding alternate timelines, we're adding the TVA and all this stuff. It's like, okay, this is all freaking cool. I love this. Like, things are supposed to happen. These aren't supposed to happen. You're supposed to stay in your role. And I like that. That was really cool. And then you have this one where, mind you, yes, it is the first episode. But this one, I feel like, I don't know. This one felt more like, okay, this is a completely new character. Like, unlike, let's say, Scarlet Witch, who we've kind of already seen before. Which even then is still pretty good. You had Falcon and Bucky, the Winter Soldier, which, other than like their back and forth banter, it was just like, okay, like, cool, Falcon becomes Captain America, badass. Other than that, it's just like, you still got to compete with like Cap was a super soldier and you're a dude with wings, like, and then like Hawkeye's like, oh yeah, Hawkeye's kind of messed up here and kind of training the new Hawkeye and meeting kind of the new Black Widow, but other than that, just like, okay, like. But this I like this episode, this episode is like bordering the line of like psychological. Actually, it's more like psychological horror and maybe a little bit of like spy thriller, I guess. Like this episode, and it's psychological horror to horror. Despite it's not even really a superhero thing. Even towards the end when Moon Knight comes out, because even when Moon Knight comes out, it's not really like a superhero kind of like. Da-da! No! It's a horror villain. It's a horror movie creature appearing. That's when Moon Knight actually appears, feels like. There's a point where you see a demon or, like an Anubis jackal-headed demon or whatever, like, coming to kill him, coming to kill the main guy, and then, like, you see, like, at the very end, you hear, like, oh my god, the humanity, and then you see this demon trying to claw its way out of the bathroom as Moon Knight grabs him, just drags him back in. I'm like, yeah, he became the monster. I'm like, holy shit. And, like, you feel bad for Steven, and I feel really bad because I keep thinking his name's Sean. You feel bad for Steven through all this. Though I did kind of figure some things like the split personality is figuring out, like, already knows, like, how to hide his footprints and everything. Like, he just wants to go on a date with this guy or with this girl, and then, like, it turns out, then he's like, he's 2 days late. His fish dies, and, like, he's replaced with another fish. He's like, it's like kind of heartbreaking. And also it's very interesting too, like, this one Messiah character who has, like, the scales on his arm. Because I like the whole thing, he judges them with this thing. But when he tries to judge Steven, he's like, you have scales inside of you. Like, you have multiple scales. And I'm like, that's freaking cool. And, like, even, like, when, I think his name is Khonshu. I think his name. Like, the god, spoilers, I guess. The god that, like, is kind of Moon Knight's patron. When he talks to him, it's like a disembodied voice. But every time I was I'm like, kind of reminds you of, like, Deadpool with, like, his two voices in the comics. I'm like, they should really put that in the movies. Because it worked really well in this, at least. But, yeah, like, it was kind of cool. Like, the coach is just like, oh, God, the coward's back. You just feel bad for Steven, but every time he blacks out, like, something badass happened off screen, you're just like, what the fuck? It's like, you can kind of imagine what he did, but it's just like, yeah. But, yeah, I like this. I like this episode. I'm so far liking this series. Like, again, there's some, mind you, I brought up those other shows and said, Moon Knight, honestly, as far as it's going right now, I think is going to be probably one of my top favorite ones. I so far like the character. I like Steven. I like, we got to see Mark now. But I like seeing, like, Moon Knight, especially Moon Knight's design, too, like, where he looks, or this version of Moon Knight, because I know there's going to be another suit, that he kind of looks like a living mummy, and I like that. I love Egyptian mythology. I think ever since, I think ever since The Mummy 2. And I say that because I think in The Mummy 2 is when the kid gets, that is the one where the kid gets, like, that bracelet. I'm like, I kind of want that bracelet. And, I think it's like a death sentence. I want, the bracelet, and, like, they showed Anubis at one point. And honestly, Gods of Egypt is one of the most bloodiest PG-13 movies ever. But it's okay, because it's all gold and blood, so they can get away with, like, dismemberment. But that's a pretty fun movie if you're just in for, like, a fun movie. I honestly, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Morbius, because apparently it's like that, too. But, this, like, I like the whole Egyptian mythology. I like the idea of, like, Moon Knight's suit becoming, like, that it looks like a mummy, like, even, like, how it wraps around him. I definitely want to see more, especially, like, again, like, the horror elements, like, when Khonshu's coming down the hallway, or sorry if I'm getting his name wrong, or, like, when Steven is in, like, the museum and you see the Anubis kind of running around, like, jumping down and stuff like that, like, hunting him. It's like, or like, hell, when Steven's, like, walking, like, he looks into the mirror and, like, the lights are flashing and he sees, like, himself, but it's Mark going, like, you gotta calm down, like, stuff like that. I'm like, that's so cool. Like, he's walking and his reflection just looking at him. It's like so many, like, horror movie elements. I'm like, I love that. This was a fun one. This was really fun. I do also like the comedy in this too, like the point where when he's like in the Netherlands or wherever the hell it is, and he goes, and like the guy goes, well, he says something and everyone bows out, and Steven like looks and sees him and was like, oh shit, oh bullocks, and then he does. I'm like, that's kind of freaking great. Yeah, Egyptian gods are badass. Egyptian mythology is badass. Moon Knight is badass. I want to get the Marvel Legends of him because I like he looks. I love it. I want to see more. Hopefully, we'll see more of him in this. This sets him up really well, and I just think it's really good. Thanks for watching. Happy April Fools, I guess. There's no joke here, but thanks for watching the videos. Hopefully, enjoy this. And check out Moon Knight, because it's really badass. I'm going to make up to that, too. Tomorrow should be the Owl House, I think. Yes. But thanks for watching the videos. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will. See you later. Also, I do love in the comics, I brought this up in like the reaction thing, that apparently in the comics, they don't actually know if he has superpowers or not, or if he's just that crazy, but just effective enough. So